Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and sorry for the late video, but I've been working my butt off. Actually, haven't been to sleep yet, and it's 9:30 in the morning. Man, I've been working like 30-hour straight shifts, and then 10 hours sleep, and then back to work. It's been nuts lately. Well, let's jump into the spoilers. We're doing like a day and a half worth, by the way. It is Dread Fugue. It's another Cleave card. I've been told that people really don't like Cleave, even less than I do. That's kind of surprising. So it's a 1-cost or 3-cost black sorcery, and target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with mana value 2 or less. That player discards a card, and then if you pay the cleave cost, you ignore the part in brackets that says with mana value 2 or less. So turn 1 hand disruption, I automatically hate it. I don't think that should ever be printed ever again in the game. Almost every pro player agrees with me. I mean, they banned Gitaxian Probe for a damn good reason. Look it up. But yeah, you pay 3 instead, and you can just get rid of anything. So this actually isn't even a very good card. Not in standard constructed, at least. Next up, Alchemist Gambit. Oh, good. Looks like more Izzet enabling crap, because we needed that. Oh, and the cleave cost has blue in it. I just saw that. Okay, great. Fantastic. I'm sure this will be good. Oh, and it's a rare. Oh, God. Wait, is this the one people warned me about? Oh, no. You guys know I don't read any of these ahead of time. But somebody posted one with, I think, this artwork saying this is basically the end of the world, and I didn't read it. Oh, here we go. So it's a 3-cost double red sorcery, which that's already a red flag, pun intended. And the cleave cost is 1 red, 2 blue, 4 generic, so 7 total. Oh, I can't even imagine. Okay, so, take an extra turn after this one. Oh, I wish the YouTube rules on swearing in the first 30% of the video didn't exist. During that turn, damage can't be prevented. Are you kidding me? What about that seemed like a good idea? And then at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Well, thank God, you deserve it, asshole. But, of course, if you pay the cleave cost, you can get rid of that. And then exile Alchemist Gambit. Well, it doesn't matter because... honestly, this is more of a problem for like Legacy and Vintage, in my opinion. This is such an unnecessary bullshit card after we had Nexus and then we had All Runes, Epiphany. Both caused problems in a row. And they thought, oh, let's do it again, but make it worse. I do believe that it's not an all or nothing system. So you could use like a Void Slime effect, which there is one in this set, to stop the delayed trigger part, I think. I don't know. It does say spell, activated ability, or triggered ability, so I'm not 100% sure, because this, I mean, it would be a spell, but it's a delayed, what would you even call that? I don't know. I feel like you could pay 3 and still not lose the game. I'm just saying. And you get all your mana back, so yeah, but duplicating this wouldn't do anything, which is what they tend to do with all runes. So honestly, Deluge of Memory or whatever that is that people are using to go fetch this garbage, that needs to go. And that stupid cast everything from your graveyard with flashback, that asshole needs to go. Lier. Both of those are going to make this pretty messed up. But I mean, this costing 7, that's nothing. This is literally just another All Runes Epiphany. So now they get 8 of them to hit with that stupid fetch spell. I'd say this needs to be banned immediately, but quite honestly, like I just said, I would rather have those 2 other cards banned than this, because then you wouldn't even be able to play the deck. And they cause more problems in general and are worse designed cards than this. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is true. So Deluge and Lier, they need to get rid of those cards. Would I feel bad if they got rid of this and All Runes Epiphany? Absolutely not, but think of the other cards that they're still fetching with Lier, okay? I hate that deck. The turns, the extra turns, are not even the biggest part of that deck. I've seen a very turns-heavy deck, but I've seen like a just generic Izzet cast everything multiple times deck, where it's just kind of annoying that they get extra turns, you know what I mean? I've had people summon, you know, piles of haste tokens with it, and they were all instant and sorcery based. So like, if you think getting rid of this in Epiphany would solve the problem, you are absolutely incorrect. But if you say Wizards should stop printing extra turn cards, you are absolutely 100% correct. So it's kind of both are true, but like I said, if I had to pick the actual ban announcement, get rid of Lier, get rid of Deluge. I hope I have the right card name. Whatever, I gotta leave in like 30 minutes, so we're getting this shit done. Next up, oh good, stuff not in English. That'll help my time. So it's Witness the Future. It's a 3-cost blue sorcery. Choose target player and up to 4 target cards in their graveyard. That player shuffles the cards into their library, which basically does nothing mathematically. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So really just graveyard recursion flashback enabling, I guess? I mean, using this defensively against an opponent, cool. Not normally necessary, but in Midnight Hunt it absolutely was. I mean, even 4 cards, and even if your deck's at like 45, you are never going to see those cards. I mean, just take 4 divided by 45. It's less than 1 in 10, guys. 10 more turns, you're still not going to draw any of the cards that you just put back. So there is mathematically no point to doing that. But if you hit your opponent with it and get rid of 4 flashback cards, there you go. Now we're talking. So I still think this is an absolute dumpster fire of flaming garbage. But a lot of people have told me, but Des, draft exists. Oh yes, okay, so you got 1 good power mythic, you brought it out and they like countered it, killed it, whatever. Well, now you can bring it back. Okay, so let's say you're sitting on 30 cards. It's 1 in 30, that's 3%. That's even worse. I guess if they killed your 4 best cards and you've got 20 cards left in your library, then it'll only take 5 turns on average to go draw one of those cards back, at which point you'll already be dead. I mean, it could be the next card, but it's so ridiculously unlikely that just the whole graveyard recycling thing, it doesn't even prevent you from getting milled out because it's only 4 cards too. I can't stress how much of a nothing this card is, and yet people still play it. So next up, we got some German thing that allegedly is Soul Code Tablet. Hopefully you can take said tablet and throw it at a vampire's face and kill them. That would be great. I hate vampires. So it's a 2-cost blue artifact uncommon, and when it enters the battlefield, it enters with 3 omen counters. Nice. Whenever a creature card is put into your graveyard, remove 1 omen counter from Soul Cold Tablet, and then when it runs out of counters, transform it. And on the back, it's just a 3/2 with Flying Spirit. It's not even good. It can block only creatures with flying. Wow, that's worth waiting like 5 turns for. And then if you pay 4, with 1 being blue, draw 2 cards, then discard only 1 card. So, okay, but unreliable. This ain't going to turn around the game if you're losing to the point where 3 creature cards are put in your graveyard, but you could have just self-milled them. So, I mean, it's just another hyper-narrow card that fits exactly one type of deck. You know, whatever, nothing wrong with that. Next up, Skulking Killer. It's a 4-cost 4/2 Vampire Assassin, and when Skulking Killer enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn if that opponent controls no other creatures. Well, to call that unreliable is an understatement. That's just not a good card. Next up, I pulled up the translation for this. Turns out it's in English. So it's Runo Stromkirk, which is apparently not Stromkirk Rune. Just his name is Runo. Must have been fun growing up with that name. It's a 3-cost blue-black 1/4 legendary creature vampire cleric. So he's flying, and when he enters battlefield, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top your library. Okay. Not a full resurrector, not into the battlefield, not directly into hand, and it ruins your next draw, but if it's important, you could go get it, so that's kind of nice. Highly defensive card here, and by the way, did you guys notice that the vampires are just all over the color spectrum on this one? I do believe I predicted that during the last set of spoilers, because I'm like, well, they can't just have the whole set be black and red, you know? So anyway, at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If a creature card with mana value 6 or greater is revealed that way, in other words, if you put it there, transform Runo Stromkirk. And he turns into Krothus, Lord of the Deep, which that just looks big. Apparently Runo put on some weight. So he's a 3/5 Kraken Horror. Interesting. Powerful magic there, geez. Flying, because, you know, Krakens fly. Sure. And whenever Krothus, Lord of the Deep, attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. You've got to be kidding me. It's just going to be the stupid cat card. This isn't even on color, and it's still going to be the damn cat card. Okay, we all know it's going to be the cat card, which they should have banned a long time ago. Way too much copying shit going on, just saying. So if that creature is a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, or cat cart, just kidding, create 2 of those tokens instead. Oh, wonderful. Okay, Stormtide Leviathan though. Stormtide Leviathan though, let's go. Well, all the good, everything they just said, cycled out in the last rotation, so I don't know, there's a couple in this set, but like, yeah, this seems like more of a commander card, so whatever. Next up, here we go, Chandra Dressed to Kill, which I think they went a little nuts with the outside the box stuff. You can barely read it. Hey, speaking of thinking outside the box, first of all, that's not the dress she was wearing in the other picture. And second, that's not Chandra. I mean, nobody's ever going to beat Teferi at the lack of consistency in art competition. And remember, we don't talk about M14 Jace, okay? But anyway, who cares? Looks like she's killing vampires. I called it. She snuck into the wedding. It looks like, let's go. So 3 loyalty, 3 cost double red. I kind of like that. And then +1, destroy all vampires, +1, destroy all vampires, and -7, destroy all vampires. Oh, wonderful. I like that. I like that. Oh, I made a slight error. It's actually, the first +1 is add 1 red mana to your mana pool. Chandra Dress to Kill deals 1 damage to up to 1 target player or planeswalker. So that's actually pretty good for costing 3. I mean, you get that in early, and she's basically another land, and then, you can start pinging stuff. I mean, geez. Oh, by stuff, I mean player or planeswalker. So you actually can't take out like a 3/1 with it, which is actually kind of good. I feel like she shouldn't be able to. That would be a little much for like turn 3, especially if that player goes first. So then we got another +1. Exile the top card of your library if it's red. Hallelujah. Yes. Yes. Put this on every fucking card, Wizards. Fuck. It is about damn time they color lock something like this, so you can't just pull a fucking white or blue spell with this. It's a fucking miracle. Somebody at Wizards got a fucking clue. Now, I have an idea. Let's take this concept further. Every time you resurrect something from the graveyard directly to the battlefield, put a mana limit on it so that you can't just resurrect a 10 cost. Anyway, you may cast it this turn. Fantastic. I'm going to buy this card just on principle and use it as an example of somebody finally getting a fucking clue at Wizards of the Coast. So our -7 is exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast red spells. There we go again. Hallelujah. From among them this turn, you get an emblem with, whenever you cast a red spell, this emblem deals X damage to any target, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast the spell. Okay, so, I mean, that could run out. You could survive that. You could maybe counterspell your way out of that. Maybe heal your way out of it, which, yeah, most of the white life gain decks I see, especially mine, can heal 10 to 15 per turn. Oh, I just reread it. You can only cast them this turn. Wow. I mean, give them the 5 spells because it's probably not all spells, just saying. You got some lands caught in there that you can't do anything with. Give them as long as the emblem is in play. That's actually really weird, but honestly, this card could stand to be weakened a little bit because it has 2 +1s, which you're still pretty far away, but they're good +1s. I mean, for 3 mana, you drop her in and you've basically, like, lost the turn. So, okay, you might be able to sneak something in, like Frostbite or something with the +1 and the, the extra, or the first +1 with the extra red. But the +2 is just, like, card draw, and then, like, turn 4 forward, it's just, let's go. We're off to the races. So, I could see her in a Red Winds deck, but, like, only standard grade, and only just barely. But man, Pseudo Storm and whatever the hell they do with Kamigawa and all the bullshit next year, I can't imagine how bad this would get if they didn't write it the way they wrote it. I would say that with how good she is long-term, I'd almost like prefer her to be shifted long-term and have her be 4 mana and 4 loyalty. She's a little quick, but, okay, red. I get how red works. It's just nobody's happy with how red works. I'd rather never see another Goblin, Blitz, or Burn deck for the rest of my life. As long as I live for Standard for the next 10 years, I never want to see that bullshit ever again. And neither does anyone who plays anything vaguely mid-range. It's too fast. Literally, all of my decks, I have like 7 hyper-strong decks with high win rates. Every damn time I go up against Goblin Rush on Arena, I lose. Well, not 100% of the time, but it's probably 80% of the time. It's just such a cheap bullshit deck that people use to just brute force 3-minute wins, although most of them are slow playing douches. Very ironic. So the fact that this is just like, here, have extra damage and extra spells on turn 3. Okay, you lose your turn 3, so you're not going to see this in, modern, but she's pretty darn good. I think we're going to see red spell chucking. And by the way, nothing on here implies that it has to be an instant or sorcery spell, so just keep that in mind. They might put her in a Dragon Treasure Ramp deck, and that I would actually have a problem with, but it's less about this card, and it's more about that deck. So a lot to unpack here. This is one of the most important cards in the set, so I wanted to focus on it. And seriously, I hope she kills every vampire in that room, in that castle, at that wedding. Just turn them all to ash. Vampires. So next up, we got Tauren's Fist of the Angels. Like that name, like that artwork. Let's go. It's a 3-cost green-white generic and 2/2 human cleric legendary creature. Okay, with training. Okay. And whenever you cast a creature spell, oh, here we go. Create a 1/1 green and white human soldier creature token with training. Holy crap. Now see, that's just good, useful, balanced, but have you seen the green-white Scoot Swarm Innkeeper deck? For like the millionth time, nothing really wrong with this card, except when you drop it in one of the tier 1 decks. So you can do fun, interesting stuff like this. as long as you didn't already break standard. But unfortunately, Wizards has a bad habit of that. So this in an existing go wide token ETB life gain thing, batshit crazy. They gotta do something to take that deck down, and the Dancer is who I want gone out of that one. Or the Innkeeper because of the treasure. So anyway, next up, Manaform Hellkite. It's a 4-cost double red 4/4 dragon, and it's a mythic rarity. Can't believe they threw another damn dragon. All right. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, oh great, create an XX red dragon illusion creature to, oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is literally Sharknado. This is the card Sharknado again, but for cheaper. That thing already rotated out. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, and the token is Flying in Haste, because why the f not? Why wouldn't it? Yeah, so obviously it's an XX, and X equals the amount of mana spent to cast a spell. It is literally identical to the stupid Sharknado card. Oh, pump the brakes there, Des. Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step. I don't give a shit. It already hit me. I don't care. I don't care if they get to keep it. Couldn't care less. If I recall, that Shark Typhoon thing was like 5 or 6 mana. This is 4. Also, it's a creature. If you don't blow this thing away the second it hits the battlefield, you've already lost. This is beyond bullshit in standard. It is ultra mega epic legendary like S tier shit grade in modern. And I don't know shit about legacy and vintage, but I bet this will probably make its way there too. Commander, don't even get me started. Oh, and just like the stupid Sharknado, this piece of shit doesn't have legendary because, you know, God forbid you get 2 of these out and get 2 freaking dragons for some bullshit little spell you cast. Apparently that's what Wizards thinks is perfectly fair. Well, usually they wait until the last day to reveal the stuff that is just horrific for standard. Like, it's like they know. Unfortunately, the people who design and test these cards don't know, but whoever the hell does the spoiler scheduling knows. They're like, no. We gotta at least make people pretend that they're excited about this for like 3 or 4 days, and at the end they're like, oh, look at this. Extra turns, unlimited tokens. A reward for running Is It Storm horse shit. Woo! Oh no, we're day 2 in this shit, apparently. Well, like I give a flying f*** about the rest of these cards at this point, because this whole set's completely and utterly f***. But the Emmy goes to me, who's gonna continue these stupid spoilers. All right, we've got, some Brazilian shit. Great, I forgot, most of these are in a different language. You know, puedo traduzcar porque es Portuguese instead of Spanish. So, voice of the blessed, maybe. Some of these translations are wrong. Too lazy to verify. So it's double white 2/2 Espirito Clerico. And every time you gain 1 or more life, you've got to be kidding me. Put a 1/1 counter on this piece of shit because we needed another Ajani's Pride Mate. Great. As long as it has 4 or more 1/1 counters on it, it has flying and vigilance because Ajani's Pride Mate needed to fly apparently. And as long as it has 10 or more 1/1 counters on it, which means that they think it might reasonably get that high, and they are absolutely correct, it has indestructible because f*** you. Please tell me the extra turns card, this horse shit, and the fucking Sharknado Dragon are a prank. Is this an early April Fool's Day prank that's out of season? No, it's just Wizard of the Coast being fucking stupid again. Unbelievable that they would give even more fuel to the fucking life gain white decks. I have 0 interest in playing Magic after this shit drops into the game. They better pull their balls out, dip them in some ink, and write up a ban announcement before this shit even comes out, okay? If they let people build this and then ban it, they're gonna get some complaints. From the net decking douches, not the people who actually play the game and actually enjoy it and actually build fucking decks. Oh, and by the way, FYI, in case you didn't notice, doesn't have legendary. I run a blue-white cloner deck. So there's a cheery little extra, little bonus for you there, a little peek behind the scenes, little DVD extras for you there about this card. Holy shit, it can't get worse. It literally cannot get worse. Let's move on. Path of Peril. I already don't like the name. 3-cost black sorcery, double black. Everything's double in this set, as if that's going to keep people from not running it in a 5-color free casting deck with Rainbow Road or whatever the hell that piece of shit's called. They should just ban the whole set of Keldheim. So this has a cleave cost of 6 total, 1 white, 1 black, because of course it does. Destroy all creatures, and it's with mana value 2 or less, so it's worthless for 3. And then it's a 6-cost board wipe for the cleave cost. This is absolute horseshit. I mean, against a very, very particular, like, low CMC cloned or token deck, which is all we're gonna see, so I mean, okay, I get that. This could be useful, but yeah, this will be a sideboard card in, like, somebody's modern deck. Like, this isn't for standard. Although, I mean, you use this to take out your own pests and your own zombies, and then just win with Meat Hook. Yeah, but to use it as a defensive board wipe, 2 or less, are you kidding me? I wouldn't even made board this. Next up, Dawnheartgeist. Oh boy, it's a 2-cost 1/3 Spirit Warlock. I'm getting the impression that most of the humans are dead and they're ghosts now, but they're still trying. So whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 2 life because we needed another life gain source. Oh good, I was just thinking we needed more synergy and more life gain in a deck that would already run Cleric class. Thanks, Wizards. Oh, you're gonna run that Banishing Light clone? Here, have 2 life and a trigger. Make all your creatures bigger. That's a good combo. Get one of their creatures out of the way, make all of yours bigger, and then have little voice of the blessed Flappy Boy fly over and just kick them right in the teeth. That sounds like enjoyable, fun gameplay. Great. So next up, we've got Concealed Curtains, which I assume is where Chandra's hiding before she ambushes the vampires and kills them all. I don't care if that happens in the story or not, that's my headcanon. So it's 1 black, it's a creature wall with Defender, and if you pay 3, you can transform it, but only at sorcery speed, and then it turns into Revealing Eye, and it becomes a creature eye horror with Menace, 3/4, that's actually no joke, and then when this creature transforms, target opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card, then draws a card. So not only is it a way too late over-expensive hand disruption, but still obnoxious hand disruption, so the worst type, the type that isn't even good or useful. Then they blind draw a card to replace it, and then all you get out of it is a 3/4. And then if this wasn't in the rare slot, I'd say, well, okay, at least it's a 0/4 blocker for 1. That would be wonderful in draft. Well, it's a rare, so you're not going to draft it. So this should have been a shittier powered down common where it's just a creature on the other side. That would have been better. Otherwise, this is just weird. Next up, Archghoul of Thraben. Oh boy. Looks more like a Remnant of Handweir, but okay. 3/2 for 3 zombie cleric, and when Archghoul of Thraben or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. You gotta be kidding me. Another death trigger for the zombie deck. Fantastic. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. If you don't, put the card in your hand. What? Oh, if you don't put the card in your hand. Okay, I thought there was a comma after don't. You may put it into your graveyard. Notice it says may, so you'll just leave it there and draw it next turn if it's something you actually need, but not a zombie. So that's every single time a zombie dies, which is all the damn time. Now remember, in a pest deck, all you have to do is run that stupid broken shapeshifter changeling tree Maskwood Nexus piece of shit, and now everything's a zombie, including your pests. So then you just detonate a pest bomb, kill them all for 6, which usually is done with spell cloning, in case you haven't been following the meta lately. And then you get this trigger on the stack 6 times. Wonderful, that's not overpowered as hell, no. So next up, oh god, a white mythic, double white in the cost. Here we go, can't wait to read this one. It's Hallowed Haunting, 4 cost, enchantment. Without even reading it, I'm going to complain about it not being legendary. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Yeah, you don't control 7 or more enchantments. That's I don't think there are 7 playable white enchantments in standard right now. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, oh, here we go. Create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of spirits you control. Okay, I guess they really wanted Constellation back for some reason. Well, enchantments are nearly impossible to remove in the current meta, so, yeah, people are going to play this. I mean, this is a little late. It's a little slow, and it's a little double white for the, like, Spirit Rush deck, but I don't know. You want to change it to mid-range or give it some options? Throw a couple of these in, you know, just saying. But I could see somebody building a deck out of just this, and if the whole Enchantments Matter thing is in white, and we're yet to see the rest of them, you could build just that. So I don't know who at Wizards wants white to win every single game from now until forever, but they seem to have been obsessed with it for at least the last 2.5 years in Standard. Honestly, I'm surprised this doesn't gain life. At least the spirits aren't flying. Until they are. So next up, we got Halana and Elena, partners. Okay, I believe during Mark Rosewater's teaser, I said, oh, they're going to do the DBZ fusion dance. I didn't think the much simpler one, which is they're just going to throw 2 people on the same damn card. That is far less interesting, but anyway, it's a 4-cost red-green legendary creature, Human Ranger. It has first strike and reach. Nice. 2/3. Okay. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put X/1/1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halana and Elena's power. Holy shit. That creature gains haste until end of turn. When will Wizards realize that getting hyper powerful triggers every single turn while there's zero payment and zero downside has been problematic for at least the last year and a half, if not more. You can kind of stretch it a little bit. But it's more of a recent epidemic ruining the game. Yeah, just sitting there getting shit for free. I mean, it literally goes back to Luminarch Aspirant, where you sit on your ass and do nothing and get counters on anything for doing nothing. You don't even tap her. You don't pay mana. You don't lose life. Nothing. And then they got all these other cards that nobody plays anymore now because they're like, oh, look at this powerful card. Oh, but you have to actually do something to put a counter on another creature. Well, forget that. Oh, I get to put a counter on a creature as long as I attack with it. Yeah, or for like 3 less mana, I could just run Luminarch. I mean, it just undercuts everything. And now you got this where it's like, okay, +2/+2 minimum to something else. And I mean, equipment, boost spells. This isn't even upkeep. This is beginning of combat on your turn. Man, this is another kill it the second it comes out or next turn you're dead card, which getting a little sick of those, but at least this one costs 4 instead of like 2 or 3. So, I mean, the haste thing is where I draw the line. This card would have been powerful but perfectly appropriate if they didn't give it haste, because then if you have no other creatures, okay, it's going to take you like a turn and a half, 2 turns to really come back, you know, if it's just them left. And also, why is that guy wearing a Wendy's wig? Did anybody else wonder that? Hell, it's Wizards. They're probably both female, allegedly. That guy's got a manlier chin than I do, and I got a hell of a chin, I'm just saying. Well, at least they made this legendary. And the legendary cloning spells cycled out because, you know, there's always a backup plan for making really broken shit. All right, next up, another 2-sided card. Great, because your sleeves. So this is Sewer Stalker, apparently. That I don't speak Portuguese, but I speak enough Spanish to tell you that is not even vaguely what that says, but okay. It's allegedly a 4-cost blue creature spirit, 3/3, and it can't be blocked while attacking alone, disturb 4. Oh, good, unblockable. Great, because they didn't already get that nuts with blue werewolves. As of about a week ago, that deck's taking off, if you haven't seen that cancer yet. Then we got Gutter Shortcut. So that's an enchantment aura, because, you know, that's what Blue-White Spirits does now, is enchantments count, in case you didn't catch that. And so it's an aura. Enchanted creature cannot be blocked if it attacks alone. Shocking. And if it would be put in the graveyard from anywhere, exile it. So yeah, you got a 3/3 unblockable. That's going to be an absolute lightning rod because, you know, you can't block the damn thing. And then when you kill it, they just drop this on something even worse. Now, the worst combination would be like a Hydroid Crisis deck, but since that crap cycled out, we haven't really had a hyper-powerful green-blue deck except for the aforementioned werewolf thing, but it's not a very good deck unless it goes off, you know what I mean? It's not like a typical tribal ramp deck. It doesn't play green the way you would think. In fact, I think it doesn't play green at all. I think it's only green on the flip. I think it's a different color. I don't remember. But yeah, you start strapping unblockable if it attacks alone to like a freaking 12/12 Trampler or something. Yeah, you're going to piss people off pretty good. Don't know why I said Trampler, but let's move on. Next up, we got Mind Leech Ghoul. Great, bet this does something with screwing with your hand. 2-cost 2/2 black zombie exploit. When it exploits a creature, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Well, at least you get to choose, and at least they lost a creature. Still hate hand disruption. Next up, Geralf Visionary Stitcher. Legendary creature, just because he's got a name, has nothing to do with what's written on the card, as is the norm with Wizards, because I guess they forgot that this is also a card game in addition to a story. And then they didn't make the one singular castle mansion card a legendary, even though there's only one of it, and they named it. Anyway, 3-cost 1 for human wizard. Zombies you control have flying. There it is. There it is. We all knew this was coming. That ain't even a surprise. And it's on a 3-cost, and it's on the most toxic color you can mix with black zombies. So, yeah, this. So if you pay 1 blue and tap it, sacrifice another non-token creature, create an XX blue zombie creature token where X is a sacrificed creature's toughness. You can do that at instant speed, so that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's pretty messed up, especially with the new wall. So I hate this card. Next up, Dormant Grove. Oh boy. It's a 4-cost green enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. If that creature is toughness 6 or greater, transform Dormant Grove. Oh good, free counters for doing nothing. At least it costs 4. Please ban Luminarch Aspirant. Somebody, somewhere ban that piece of shit. So when it flips, it's Gnarled Grove Strider. 3/6 with Vigilance, and other creatures you control have Vigilance. Oh, wonderful. Next up, Kindly Ancestor. 3-cost 2/3 spirit with lifelink, and Disturb 2. And after you bring it out of the graveyard, enchant a creature as lifelink. Ooh, that is durable. That is actually just barely worth putting in a white life gain deck. Just barely, if it's not already Angel or Cleric heavy. I should say if there's any cards that care if they're angels or clerics. Getting 2 shots at lifelink, that's pretty good, because actually the white life gain deck, especially angels, they don't tend to actually have lifelink. They're just getting like secondary life gain triggers. So you add this, it is unstoppable. So next up, another stupid flip card. God, they're going to set the record with most obnoxious flip cards. Somebody should remind them that their game is in paper too, and it uses sleeves. So, Biolume gets a 3-cost blue 0/4. Oh, here we go. Serpent Egg, Defender. When Biolume Egg enters battlefield, scry 2. When you sacrifice Biolume Egg, when the hell would that happen? Return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so I guess you'd have to have a different way to do that. I mean, there are some in the game, but that just seems weird. On the other side, it's a Biolume Serpent, so 4/4. 10 times the size of a sailboat needs a 4/4, sure. Sacrifice 2 islands, and it can't be blocked this turn. Okay, did they just feel bad about how overpowered the rest of the cards were in today's spoilers? So they printed this unbelievable pile of useless shit? Whatever, at least it's not a turns card. I don't care. They can fill it with unplayable shit. That's fine. I don't care. Until I do a draft, then I do care. But if you draft blue, you're either a troll or an idiot or both, so... Next up, Investigator's Journal. And what do you know? Every single page it just says, kill all the vampires. Vampires are responsible for everything. Send in Chandra. So it's 2-cost, colorless artifact clue. So it's also a clue. That's weird. Investigator's Journal enters the battlefield with a number of suspect counters on it equal to the greatest number of creatures a player controls. I do wonder what the mystery is they're trying to solve. Like, is it separate from the wedding? Or like, I don't know. This is weird. So if you pay 2, remove a suspect counter from Investigator's Journal, draw a card. And if you pay 2, sacrifice Investigator's Journal, draw a card. But the first one is tapped though, so like you can only do that once, but you could use the second ability while it's tapped. So you can get a hell of a lot of cards out of this, like a ridiculous amount of cards, because remember, it enters the battlefield with a number of suspect counters on it equal to the greatest number of creatures a player currently playing the game controls. So this would be like amazing in Commander. This is probably going to be a $20 card. Unless I'm missing one of the cards in the 40,000 cards printed in the last 26 years, which climb down out of my ass about it if I am. Just a reminder, rude, sarcastic, arrogant comments get deleted, so shut the f*** up. But yeah, as long as like this is the new premier colorless, put it in everything, a virtually unlimited card draw works even better in multiplayer card, yeah, this is gonna be nuts. You better not need this in your standard deck because you aren't going to find it. The Commander players ate them all. This right here should have been the buy a box promo card that comes inside of the bundle, aka Fat Pack. You know why? Because we need the extra copies of it. I mean, on turn 3, you should get at least 2 or 3 card draws eventually out of this. So like, damn. In fact, if you're the one already flooding the field because you're running green-white, now you get rewarded with more cards on top of it. Or in a zombies deck. I mean, this is pretty nuts. I mean, paying 2 per card, that's, you know, the average on high draw single use spells is 1.5 mana per card. That's just how they all on average work unless they like print an aggressively better one. But that's like the invisible golden rule kind of ratio. Like divination is the baseline, is scale up to 5, it's usually 3 cards and, you know. So having to pay 2 per card, like, okay, but like this is so durable. I mean, this isn't quite to the extent of being an auto include in every color deck of every strategy as Shadow Spear was, but this is pretty damn close. I mean, could virtually every deck benefit from Trample and Lifelink? Absolutely. Could every deck benefit from more cards in hand? Absolutely. It's not that far away. Yeah, this is gonna be insane. Oh, thank God that was the last card. Get me the f*** out of here. I'll see you guys next video. F*** Wizards of the Coast and f*** their R&D department.